কথামৃতা তপ্ত জীবনা কবি ভিরিতা কলমশাপহ তব কথামৃতা তপ্ত জীবনা কবি ভিরিতা কলমশাপহ.
Sankirtan means Krishna's glory. Chanting the glory of Krishna collectively. So, and Kirtan means this glorification. Not only just singing, but even speaking about Krishna is also Sankirtan. Even to promote Krishna consciousness is also Sankirtan. Out of them, of course, the most important consideration is Shravanam and Kirtanam. Hearing and chanting. Somebody describes, others hear. In Vrindavan, they're constantly talking about Krishna. When Gokumar, according to the description of Brihad Bhagavatamritam, arrived in Vrindavan, he saw that some girls were picking flowers. So he asked them, where is the house of Nanda Maharaj? They didn't respond. They were just singing, they were speaking about Krishna, but they didn't hear. So much so that he felt that most probably these girls are deaf. So the point is this, and he also considered, or maybe they are so absorbed in Krishna that they do not have any external consciousness. And that is the reality. They are so absorbed in thinking about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, that they don't have any external consciousness. And that is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. And in a way, or not in a way, as a matter of fact, that's the difference between material nature and the spiritual nature. In the material nature, our consciousness is limited to our senses. We are conscious about our senses, our sense perceptions. But in the spiritual sky, everyone's consciousness is tuned to Krishna's consciousness. They don't have any separate awareness or separate consciousness. Everyone is tuned in, completely focused into Krishna's consciousness. Whatever Krishna wants, that's happening. Whatever Krishna is thinking, that's what everyone is absorbed into. And that's why, in reality, the difference between material and spiritual is where we put ourselves in the center, that's material. And when you put Krishna in the center, that is spiritual. And that's the distance between material and spiritual. Me and Krishna, that's the distance. When I am the center, it's material. When Krishna is the center, that's spiritual. And when we put ourselves in the center, then what happens? Our false ego. I am the center. Everything is revolving around me. When I am glorified, I am very much delighted. And when I am criticized, I am extremely upset. That is the duality. That is pleasing to my senses is good. What is not pleasing to my senses is bad. I am the center of everything, and everything is measured according to my perception. Whereas in spiritual reality, Krishna is in the center. Everything is centered around Krishna. Then there is no room for me consciousness. Me and mine. Aham mameti is the root of material consciousness. And when you put Krishna in the center, that's the spiritual consciousness. So that's why Prabhupada termed it as Krishna consciousness. That is what we actually aspire for, to become Krishna conscious. Tuning our consciousness to Krishna's consciousness. Because Krishna is the source of consciousness. All consciousness is actually coming from Krishna. Our consciousness is in reality coming from Krishna. But what we are doing, we are projecting this consciousness through the body. That is our problem. I am conscious, but that consciousness of mine is projected through my body. Through the mind, through the senses, and through the sense object. So, that is what we have to change. From me consciousness, it has to become Krishna consciousness. For my self-consciousness, it has to be Krishna consciousness. From my false ego, it has to be offered to Krishna's service. And that is why Krishna comes, to remind us of Him. Reminds us of the benefit of being Krishna conscious. And what is the benefit? The benefit of Krishna consciousness is endless joy. How it happens, we'll experience it only when we get tuned into Krishna. And Krishna plays his pastimes. Although he plays his pastimes in different incarnations, and all those activities are full of delight, full of pleasure, full of joy. But when Krishna comes and performs his Braja Leela, they become the source of the ultimate joy. Because Krishna is all attractive. He is the supreme attractive. And how does he create that attraction? That attraction, the basic criteria for those attractions are his 6 opulences. He is the supreme. He is the supreme, he is most beautiful. Supreme beauty, absolute beauty. So naturally we all are attracted to beauty, so we become attracted to Krishna. Because he is the most beautiful. Another source of attraction is wealth. And he is the most opulent. Everything belongs to him. Another source of attraction is strength. And he is all powerful. He is all powerful. He is, another source of attraction is fame. He is all fame. All the fame belongs to him. Knowledge, another feature of attraction. That also Krishna has the absolute extent. And renunciation. So all these features, all these 6 features are the features of attraction, and Krishna possesses them to an unlimited extent. Therefore Krishna is all attractive. The word Krishna means all attractive. And why he is all attractive? Because he has all these 6 opulences to an absolute extent. All attractive. Not just one or 2 features. He is not only almighty, he is not only all, what's the expression? All cognizant. He is not only omniscient, he is not only omnipresent, he is not only omnipotent. In every respect, he is omni, and omni. So that is Krishna. So that is one way that Krishna attracts. Another way of attracts is Krishna's dealings with us. And these dealings give rise to 5 principal relationships. Those 5 principal relationships are neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental, and conjugal. And in this progression, one is greater than the other. The subsequent one is greater than the preceding one. Shantaraj. And then more progressive or more deep is Dasya. Dasya is more profound than Shanta. Then Shakhya, friendship, is more profound than servitorship. Parental is even more profound. And conjugal is the most profound. And in conjugal also there are 2 considerations. Shakhya and Parakya. Conjugal relationship is the relationship between a man and a woman, a young boy and a young girl. And in this relationship, the Shakhya is the relationship that is socially approved. Socially approved means the relationship between husband and wife. Society has approved that relationship. Okay, this man and woman can have a relationship. But Parakya is without the social approval. Clandestine love affair. Right? So that relationship is even more intense. And that relationship is there in Vrindavan between the gopis and Krishna. So that is considered the highest of all relationships. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has revealed that. This is the teachings of Sri Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings is Ramma Kachidupashana Brajabodhu Bhargena Jakarpita. The way the Brajabodhus, the cowherd damsels of Vrindavan, worshipped Krishna, served Krishna, that's the highest form of worship. Why? Because they didn't have any other consideration. They did not care for social convention. They didn't consider what people will think about their relationship. They didn't consider other relationships that they developed in their day-to-day life. Relationship with the husband, relationship with the superiors, relationship with their own children. All given up. So from the mundane perspective, oh, that's not good. But from the spiritual perspective, that's the highest. When one is prepared to sacrifice everything for Krishna, That is the highest form of relationship. Sometimes some moralists raise that point. Oh, why did Krishna have this relationship with the gopis like that? They were not married. A relationship between unmarried people. Yes, from the moral perspective, that is not right. But from spiritual perspective, that's the highest step. That's the highest consideration. And I give an example. When your wife becomes a devotee, when your wife becomes a devotee of Krishna, do you become jealous? Do you think it's wrong? When your wife runs after Krishna, do you think there's something wrong? So that's how we have to see it. Radha is glorious. How many of you are proud that your wife is a devotee? There you are. So the point is, we have to recognize, first of all, who Krishna is. Then only it becomes clear. Now let us consider Krishna's pastimes. Krishna came as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Why? Does Krishna need to take birth? Krishna can come like that. Krishna doesn't need to take birth from a father and mother. We have seen that already. How did Varahadev come? How did Krishna in his Varaha incarnation come? Just from the nostrils of Brahma. Brahma sneezed and Varahadev appeared. How did Krishna appear as a Meena incarnation, the fish incarnation? And Satyavrata Manu just saw a small little fish came when he was doing his achaman in the river. Just a fish came along with this handful of water. And the fish started to become bigger and bigger and bigger. How did Nrsimhadev come? From a pillar. So this is how the Lord appears. Lord can appear. He can appear directly. He doesn't need the medium of a father and mother, just like we do. Because we need a body. But Krishna doesn't have a separate material body. Krishna's, even when he comes in a spiritual body. Like us, he doesn't need to take a body. Like we, as I was discussing this morning, the soul, through the subtle body, gets into the womb of the mother to get a gross body. But that's not the case with Krishna. Now why does he need to come through the father and mother? Because Krishna's devotees wanted that. Some devotees wished, I wish to have a son like that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because a devotee wants, Krishna wants to fulfill his desire. That's one of the characteristics of Krishna. Krishna wants to fulfill the desires of his devotees. Sharango Sharnagati hoibe jahar tahar prarthana shune Srinandu Kumar. One develops total surrender to Krishna, following these 6 limbs of surrender. Krishna listens to his prayers. Meaning whatever he wants, Krishna feels obliged to fulfill that. So a devotee desires to have Krishna as his son or her son. And Krishna says, fine, if that's what you want, I'll come. And that's why Krishna came, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Prishni. as the son of Aditi, Vamandev, and as the son of Kaikeyi, and Kaushalya, also Kaikeyi, Kaushalya, Ramchandra, as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Because they wanted, and that's why Krishna fulfilled their desires. So Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki. And how did he appear? There is, now I spoke about 5 principal mellows. There are 7 secondary mellows. Those 7 secondary mellows are, in Sanskrit, they are Hashya, Adbhut, Veera, Raudra, Bibhatsa, Bhayanak, and Karun. Hashya, laughter. A mellow that causes us to laugh, humor. Adbhut, surprise. Veera, chivalry. Raudra, anger. Bibhatsa, ghastly. Bhayanak, frightening. Karun, pathetic. This pathos, all these mellows actually affect our consciousness, affect our emotions, affect our feelings of our hearts, affects our hearts with emotions. Like just consider, just the thought, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is coming. And these devotees are so exalted, they are getting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son. Mother Devaki is carrying him in her womb. But where? In the prison of Kamsa. Just the thought of it churns the emotion of the heart with pathos. If we meditate on that, we won't be able to restrain our tears. Apparently what Mother Devaki was going through. But then the question is, does a devotee feel? No. Because of Krishna consciousness. She is so absorbed in just thinking about Krishna, she doesn't have any awareness of her external condition. An example is when one is under anesthetics, does he feel pain, the pain of the body? Why not? Simple words, because his consciousness is cut. Stop. The nerves are not carrying the consciousness. Dr. Babu? What does anesthetics do? Numbs the nervous system. So the nerve currents are not flowing, consciousness is not flowing. So, although the chest is cut open, heart is pulled out, they don't feel anything. Why? Because the consciousness is not flowing. Now this is done artificially. But with Krishna consciousness it happens naturally. How? Because now the consciousness is projected onto Krishna. Is it flowing through the body? No. Therefore, a devotee doesn't feel the physical condition. And being in Krishna consciousness, she was experiencing such joy that her external condition did not really matter. But at the same time, the devotees, when they think of it, because of their love for Mother Devaki, love for Krishna, they can't restrain their tears. So this is how Krishna actually is playing his pastimes. What is Krishna saying? Like through this pastimes, Krishna is teaching us some lesson. What lesson? When you surrender unto me, external material consideration won't affect you anymore. You won't be affected by your external condition. Because whatever I am doing with you, in my relationship with you, is nothing but source of joy. Apparently there may be some anxiety, but that anxiety is to accelerate or increase the delight. Example, the father takes the little child, I'm sure many of you have done that, and throws the child up, right? Now, how does the child feel? Yes. And how does others also feel? Look what he's doing. But then the father catches the child mid-air. Then what happens? The father starts to laugh and the child starts to laugh. So, Krishna sometimes does that. He throws us into a situation like that. But then he saves us from that situation. That's how Krishna shows what he does, how he cares for his devotee, how he takes care of his devotee. Therefore, devotee's apparent distress is actually Krishna's arrangement to increase his faith in him and increase his delight in their loving exchange. And we see, Krishna is in the womb of his mother, and the demigods came and started to offer such beautiful prayers. They recognize that here is the Supreme Personality of God. Then Adbhuy, we see the wonderful things happening. Krishna is born, although the prison house is guarded with extreme caution by Kamsa. But as soon as Krishna born, everyone fell asleep. All the guards, maybe thousands of guards, extremely powerful individuals with all the kinds of weapons and things, guarding things. Mind you, they're in the prison, but when Krishna is born, they all fell asleep. And Devaki and Vasudeva were tied up with chains. The chains also fell off. There was a massive iron door. The room was as such that there was even light couldn't enter into that room. But on its own, the door opened up. The gate of the prison opened up. And Devaki, Vasudeva quietly picked up the child, walked out of them. He understood that the Lord has some plan. It was raining, torrents of rain. Anantashesha came and became the umbrella. Then he came to the bank of Jamuna. Mathura is right on the bank of Jamuna. So when he came to the bank of Jamuna, he saw that the river is in full speed. Terrible, terrible current. And it's about to flood. I mean, the water is right up to the brim of the bank. And Jamuna, as it is deep, and now sees so much water. So, Vasudeva is wondering what to do now. How am I going to cross the river? Krishna wanted him to take him to Nanda Maharaj's house. across the Yamuna in Vrindavan. So how to go there? Then Yogamaya came in the form of a fox. And she started to walk in front of them, walk to the river. Like a fox, you saw the height of a fox? About this height. And Vasudeva felt, okay, so if that fox can walk across, then I also can. And then he came out to the middle of the river, and all of a sudden Krishna slipped out of his hand. Can you imagine his condition at that time? In such turbulent river, the child now fell off his hand, and he started to look for him desperately everywhere, couldn't find him. Can you imagine his condition at that time? And then all of a sudden, oh, there's the child. So he pulled the child to his lap. This is how he brings Krishna to the house of Nanda. And then he places the baby Krishna, places baby Krishna on the bed and picks up the newborn baby of Mother Yashoda, the daughter, and brings that girl to the prison. And then immediately the door closed, the chains bound him and gave a key. The guards woke up with the sound of the baby's cry. The life became normal again. And so this is how Krishna is performing his pastimes. And he is casually performing his pastimes, but look at what's happening to the demons. Kamsa couldn't sleep the whole night. He was having terrible nightmares. Kamsa was having terrible nightmares all the time. He was in an extremely pathetic situation. And that's what happens when one accepts Krishna as his enemy. And as soon as Kamsa got the news that the child is born, he practically started to tremble with fear. He had long hair, because the Kshatriyas don't shave their heads or crop their hair or cut their hair. Because the hair they tie up in a knot, and that works as a helmet. Like the Sikhs do. That's the way Kshatriyas used to do. Keep the long hair, tie it in a knot and wear a turban, so that even any heat on the hair will be protected. So you can well imagine how long Kamsa's hair was, and they all stood up. Out of extreme fear, that happens. Did you ever see a ghost at night? And what happens? Don't the hair stand up? Or when you're extremely afraid, the hair stand up. That's what happened to Kamsa. Although he is supposed to be such a brave and powerful individual, but he was afraid. And then he sees that he's not a boy, it's a girl. And Devaki began to appeal to him. Please come. Girl, you don't be afraid of a girl. But cruel as Kamsa was, he did listen and tried to kill his baby by throwing the baby on the stone. But who is that baby? The baby is Yogamaya. Who can kill Yogamaya? She slipped out of his hand, went up to the sky, assumed her 8-armed Yogamaya form, and started to chastise Kamsa. And he or she also warned or reminded him, Kamsa, nothing to worry about me. But the one who is going to kill you has already appeared. It's only a matter of time. And then we see, in this way, through his pastimes, Krishna shows the nature of the demons. Completely ruthless. No, for the sake of their sense gratification, they would be prepared to do anything. Kill a baby, kill a child, kill a female child, kill the enemy. And just to protect himself from being killed by Krishna, after hearing that Krishna has already appeared, what did he do? Kill all the children that are born in 7 days' time. We do not know who is that child, but kill all the children. Just to protect themselves, protect himself, he is prepared to kill everybody. And then comes actually, or rather Kamsa, did he succeed in preventing his death? So much brutality, so much atrocity, but still he could not kill King Krishna. And although he made arrangements to kill all the children, and when it came to killing Krishna, one of his most powerful agents, Putana, got killed. Putana was so powerful that even demigods were afraid of her. And she had such mystic power that she assumed such a beautiful form that everyone started to think, started to wonder who she was. Some thought she must be a demigod. She must be a goddess. Some even thought that it must be Lakshmi Devi herself. She was so enchanting. She was so beautiful. And then she enters into the house. Generally, an unknown person is not allowed in the inner part of the house. Even the ladies were not. In Vedic culture, even the ladies were not. Men are not. During the daytime, men could not go to the inner part of the house, called Andar Mahal. Even the husband couldn't go inside. When Satyabhama was brought and Krishna wanted to see her, she was curious to meet her. But in the daytime he couldn't go in. So he assumed a woman form. He dressed up like a woman. So that's how he entered into the inner part of the house. His own house. He is not allowed. And at that time, Uddhav, seeing her, felt some attraction. And Uddhav began to wonder, who is this? Because I am not attracted to any woman. Then how come I am feeling the attraction? So is this the form that Lord Shiva saw? That is the Mohini Murti. So Krishna's female form is Mohini Murti. that attracts even a devotee who is not attracted to anything. So anyway, but Putana got the access to inside the house because of her enchanting beauty. So assuming that form, she came inside, and so much so, she was such, she spelled such, or rather she casted such a wonderful spell, that even Mother Jashoda became bewildered. Because Krishna was on the lap of Mother Jashoda, and she started to tell, "Oh, I'm feeling such affection for you, child. That milk is flowing from my breast. Let me offer my milk to your baby." And Mother Jashoda said, "Please take." Thinking that she must be such an exalted personality. But how did Putana come? Putana came smearing, or carrying, not smearing. Instead of milk, she was actually, in her breast, she was carrying the most deadly poison, kalkut. The most deadly poison. Just a drop of it would kill anybody. But Krishna not only drank the poison, but Krishna sucked her life away. And while doing that, Krishna was feeling bad. He closed his eyes. Because Krishna was thinking that the first person I have to kill is a woman. Ramchandra also had the same dilemma, or same concern. Because he also killed Taraka Rakshashi, the first one. So she is thinking, Krishna is thinking, what a pity, I have to kill a woman. And then the news actually went there to Kamsa. Putana is dead. And he started to suspect, this boy, is this the one? And then he started to send one after another demon. They're extremely powerful individuals. You can see how powerful they were. Like Trinavarta, he turned himself into a whirlwind, a storm. That means with his mystic power, he created a storm. He came as a storm. And not an ordinary storm, like the whole place became full of dust and stone chips, gravels, weeds, dry thorns. So all flowing, blowing everywhere with terrible wind. And he picked up Krishna. Now another wonderful thing, at that time, Krishna was on his mother's lap, on the lap of Mother Jashoda. And Krishna was thinking that, well, this demon is coming to carry me. Now my mother is not safe. Because if I am on my mother's lap, he will carry me along with my mother. And then the job will become more difficult for me. So Krishna became so heavy, all of a sudden, the Mother Jashoda felt that she is not able to carry him anymore. So she just placed Krishna on the floor. And right at that time, Trinavarta appeared as a terrible whirlwind. and carried Krishna way up in the sky. And his idea was that he is going to drop Krishna from the height and would kill him. But demons don't understand, no matter how powerful they are, and no matter how much they want to kill Krishna, Krishna is always more powerful than they can ever imagine. Although it's just like a baby, there's no way of recognizing this baby can have so much strength. So that's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In whichever form He is the Supreme Powerful. He just naturally, when Trinavarta carried him, he put his arm around Trinavarta's neck, just to secure him. Yes, like any baby would do. So now Trinavarta thought, okay, now I need to drop him. But as he tried to do that, he could see that he couldn't free himself from Krishna's grip. And not only that, the grip now started to tighten like a vice. And Trinavarta started to suffocate. All his strength, he was completely devoid of his strength. And from that height, he fell on top of a huge boulder, huge stone. And all his body was bones broken to pieces. He was dead. So now we can see Mother Jashoda, as soon as the wind came, her first reaction was, oh, let me protect Krishna. And she couldn't find Krishna. She just placed him right in front of her. But now he's gone. Trinavarta has taken him away. So Mother Jashoda started to cry in anxiety and fear. And everyone started to look for Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? See, the anxiety is caused. And then all of a sudden they heard a terrible sound. What was their first thought? Oh, did something happen to the child? But then they came out and found a terrible demon, huge body of demon, lying dead. And Krishna is there on his chest, playing. So see, anxiety, and after anxiety comes relief. Can you imagine the depth of the relief and the profundity of joy? Oh my God, Krishna is safe. Namo Narayan, thank you so much that you saved our baby. So this is how, through his pastimes, Krishna increases the delight of his devotees. Iti drikshalilabhir ananda kunde shaghosham nimajjantam akkampayantam. In this way, iti drikshalilabhir, through his pastimes, shaghosham, his devotees, nimajjantam, drowns, Ananda Kunde, in an ocean of joy. In this way, Krishna submerges or drowns his devotees in an ocean of joy through his pastimes. That's the purpose of his pastimes. He gives inconceivable joy to his devotees, and by seeing how delighted his devotees are, Krishna feels delighted. Devotees laugh. devotee's heart becomes filled with joy, and that's what makes Krishna so delighted. So this is the purpose of Krishna's pastimes. And in this way, in Vrindavan, we find one after another Krishna kills so many demons. Became Aghasura, Bakasura, Vatsasura, Arishtasura. The last one that Krishna killed was Bhomasura. Before that was Keshi. Keshi was a friend of Kamsa. And one day Keshi came to Kamsa and he found that Kamsa was looking so miserable. The rings around his eyes, his face looked so emaciated. He's so worried. And like a friend, he felt, Kamsa, what's the matter with you? Kamsa started telling him, look, this is what is happening. This boy, Krishna and Balaram, they're killing all my most powerful enemies, most powerful allies. So Keshi said, look, I will go and take care of it, don't worry. Kamsa said, Keshi, this boy is unusual. All these Trinavarta, Arishta, Bhoma, Vatsa, Dhanuka, Keshi, they all been killed. And they all were so powerful. Keshi said, okay, maybe, but Keshi is Keshi. So don't worry, I will take care of it. Kamsa said, yeah, Keshi, but be careful. And then Keshi, assumed in the form of a horse, terrible horse, so huge that his men, when he was moving, was scattering the clouds. His tail was scattering the clouds. With a terrible form, he came practically, with his every step, the earth was shaking. And was whining in such a terrible way that sounded like thousands of thunder were clapping at the same time. So in this way, Keshi comes there. Everyone is afraid. And there it's not that the devotees do not become afraid. The devotees' qualification is that they take shelter of Krishna. At the time of greatest distress, they know Krishna is the only shelter. So they took shelter of Krishna. And Krishna said, don't worry, I'll take care. So he just stood there. And seeing that, Keshi was actually wondering to find out who Krishna was, where Krishna. There's so many residents of Vrindavan, and he was looking for Krishna. So now he saw Krishna standing there. So he immediately came charging towards Krishna. He tried to stamp Krishna with his front legs. But Krishna grabbed his leg and started to swing him over him through. Keshi became unconscious. He fell at some distance. But one thing with these demons and also the Kshatriyas, and they were so powerful, although they become unconscious, but in a few seconds they'll become all right again. And they would regain their vitality back. And so Keshi just, although he became unconscious from the attack, he just stood up and charged again. This time he came to swallow Krishna up with his mouth. gaping wide open. Krishna just extended his left hand. And his hand entered into Keshi's mouth. And although Krishna was effortlessly putting his hand into Keshi's mouth, it has been described, Krishna's hands entered into Keshi's mouth as effortlessly as a snake would enter into a hole. But the impact was so heavy that all Keshi's teeth fell off. And then his hand expanded so much that it got stuck in Keshi's throat. And it started to emanate such heat that Keshi was writhing with pain. And then Keshi's body, Keshi left, dead. In some other Puran, there is another description of this, that Krishna held Keshi by his legs and swung him overhead and threw him, let him go. And Keshi's body, already due to swinging, his body became a lump of flesh. The bones was pulverized and his flesh and bone became a lump. And when Krishna let him go, the body went flying all the way from Vrindavan to Mathura and landed right in front of Kamsa. And seeing that, Kamsa was surprised what happened. And then he realized that that was Keshi's body. He started to tremble with fear. At that time, Vasudeva was there. There was a smile on Vasudeva's face, seeing Kamsa's situation. Kamsa noticed it and became so upset that here is my enemy who delights at my distress. So he pulled out his sword to kill Vasudeva. So at that time, Narad Muni appeared there and told Kamsa, what will you gain by killing Vasudeva? Rather, it will aggravate Krishna even more. So Vasudeva is not the problem. The problem is Krishna. So try to kill him. What's the point in killing Vasudeva? Deal with your real problem. So Kamsa said, look, I'm trying. I tried my level best, but I can't deal with that boy. Narad Muni said, Kamsa, you made a mistake. When the enemy is so powerful, then don't send your force one at a time. You gather all your force and attack it. So Kamsa asked, how am I going to do that? Because if I tell that I am afraid of this boy, so please come. So what will happen to my reputation? Narad Muni said, don't worry about that. You announce that whoever will be able to string the bow that you have of Lord Shiva, so whoever will be able to string that bow, you will give him half your kingdom. So being attracted by that offer, they all will come. So you invite Krishna also at that time. And then surrounded by all your friends and with all your strength together, then you deal with Krishna. So Kamsa said, thank you, Narad Muni. You always come and give such good advice. Now the question is, why Narad Muni is siding with Kamsa? The reason is the demigods were appealing to Narada Muni. Narada Muni, please do something that Kamsa is killed as soon as possible. So Narada Muni said, okay, I'll make the arrangement. So that is why Narada Muni is apparently giving good advice to Kamsa, but those good advices were simply to accelerate Krishna's pastime of killing Kamsa, to accelerate Kamsa's death. So that is how this Dhanurjagya was arranged, and Krishna and Balaram were invited. Now Kamsa thought that by inviting them, through my most ferocious wrestlers, I'll kill them in front of me. And you know what happened after that? So, the evening class is, I've been told that it's for 1 hour only. Gauri? This class is from 6:30 to 7:30. Okay. So anyway, so today I want to invite any questions. So tomorrow we'll start. I just wanted to give the recap of Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, and tomorrow maybe we'll start from Krishna's pastimes out of Vrindavan, our main topic. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.